James Evans, please come lead us in the national anthem. Dr. Al isn't with us today.
Moment, please. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we at the twilight's last beam, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, for the ramparts we fought were so gallantly streamed, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the free? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I'll ask Les Pinker to come forward for invitation.
Would you bow your heads with me, please? Our Father, we are grateful for this day. We thank you that you love us just like we are, just as imperfect as we are. Thank you, too, for this service club that we all love and choose to be a part of. Thank you for the service opportunities that it avails to each of us. Now I ask you to bless this food, bless those who have prepared it for us, bless it to our bodies so that we can continue to serve you. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Les. Maybe see you. All right, family of Rotary, Terry Dothan.
Thank you, President Josh. Hope everybody's having a great Monday. What a great day it is to be here. It's nice to see all our visiting people we've got here today. Let's celebrate some birthdays. Jason Rudd, I know he's looking older. It's June 6th. And we've got a duo on the 9th of June, Robert Bird and Troy Fountain. Anniversaries, Doug Blankenship and Helen on June 3rd. We've got a trio on June 5th. That must have been a hot day to get married. Wade Palmer and Angela, Samuel Prim and Amy, John Watson, Mr. John Watson and Gail, all on June the 5th. Adam Dozier and Carter, June 7th. Adam Hall and Melissa on June the 8th. Hope you have a fantastic week. Thanks.
Right, time to introduce our guest and visiting Rotarian, Carol P.
Good day, everyone. We are happy to welcome our guests and visiting Rotarians today. When I call your name, will you please stand and remain standing, or I'm going to make you sing something. We have three, the first three guests are Abby Houston and Justin Tetchell, Keith Bland, do you mind standing? Keith Boozer, Elisha Anderson, Tara Rios, Kirk Davis, and they are the guests of the club. Welcome. And also I have Miss Linda Hendricks and is the guest of Mr. Craig Hendricks. Oh, welcome. Thank you so much.
Great to see y'all again here today. Time for our camp acid drawing. Stevie Saul. 471 points. All right, last score 7480. 7480. Just yours. The three of spades. I'm gonna go ahead and move him. I have here on the screen, I was able to meet with Mr. Arnie Falls last week. Spent some time with him presenting a Paul Harris +2 to Mr. Falls, and also a certificate recognizing him as an honorary member of our club. So he was very appreciative and sent everybody his love and best wishes. So great to meet with Mr. Falls. This time I'll ask Alan Richards to come forward for an announcement.
Thank you, President Josh. It's my privilege today to award two presentations. I'd like to start with Ms. Lydia Anderson with Wallace Rotaract. If you would like to just come forward. For those who are familiar and may not be familiar, Rotaract was originally began as a Rotary International Youth Program, Charlotte, North Carolina Rotary Club. Rotaract focuses on young adults developing as leaders in their communities and workplaces. Clubs also take part in international projects in the global effort to bring peace and international understanding to the world. Rotaract stands for Rotary in Action, though the name actually came from a combination of Rotary and Interact, which is a high school club. I can continue on in depth on that. As far as Rotaract is a great club, and Dothan Rotary Club actually sponsors Rotaract at Wallace College, and to encourage and support and enhance students as they accept the responsibility of leadership in Rotaract. We offer a tuition assistance for the year that the student takes the role as club president. I'd like to present this to Ms. Lydia Anderson, who's on Rotaract award this year. Next, we have the Dorothy Harvard Scholarship. For those who may recall, some are familiar with the Dorothy Harvard Scholarship. William Guy Harvard, the husband of Dorothy Harvard, set up the trust that funds the scholarship. He was elected as a state lieutenant governor in 1954, served in the Alabama House of Representatives. He was also a member of this club. Mr. Harvard stated Dorothy Harvard graduated from Dothan High School and received a quality high school education, which enabled her to make a caring and outstanding wife and citizen and be active in community and church affairs. He said it is a pleasure to establish the scholarship program for outstanding students. This is only for Dothan High School students in honor of his wife. And selecting the recipient shall be consideration of the scholastic standing of the student, moral character, school activities, and general qualifications of the student. The first scholarship was presented in the May of 1993. The total this year is $1,538, which will be paid directly to the institution. Our award this year is given to Miss Emily Fesco. Emily, if you'd like to come forward, I'd like to tell you a little bit about Emily. Emily is a senior at Dothan High School. Class rank is 7 out of 405, GPA of 4.43. Going through the awards of community service, Emily has, I counted 21 community service projects. She's also a National Honor Society, active member of West Kent Church Youth Crew, was actually top 10 in West Kent pageant this year. Also plays volleyball at Dothan High School, also a cheerleader, active in student government as a secretary, and the list goes on. Actually, been working since 2021. And Emily will be attending Auburn University, and we paid directly to Auburn University. I'd like to award you board partners.
Alan, I think you got my papers.
Alan, you got his cheat paper, cheat sheets.
You can have this.
Make sure I got it.
Continue on.
Thank you. All right, I'd like to ask Ben Slingliff and Will Golson to come forward.
Good afternoon. It is my privilege today to introduce Will Golson for membership. Will was raised in Dothan. He grew up in the Episcopal Church, and now he attends First United Methodist Church. He is the 2017 graduate of Houston Academy, and some say one of the best offensive linemen in school history. Some say. After high school, he attended and graduated from the University of Mississippi with a degree in risk management. He is employed with Slingliff United Insurance and will one day be the top producer in the agency. When he's not working, he enjoys hunting, fishing, and watching the Ole Miss Rebels. He also has a girlfriend that he likes a lot. Her name is Ellie. Please welcome Will.
Will, you've been chosen to membership in the Dothan Rotary Club because your fellow members believe you to be a leader in your vocation and because you possess the qualities that impart the message of Rotary to those with whom you come in contact with. You have been admitted not only to the Dothan Rotary Club, but to a worldwide association. And by virtue of your membership in this club, you'll be welcomed into the fellowship of any Rotary Club in the world. The honor and privilege of Rotary membership carries with it duties and obligations. You will be expected to attend the club's meetings regularly, to perform your share of club service, and to place your knowledge and talents at the disposal of the club in its task of carrying the principles of Rotary into the daily life of this community. Will, it is now my distinct pleasure to formally admit you to membership into this club. I'll ask Ben to give you your pen and your badge. Fellow Rotarians, please rise and welcome Will as our newest Rotarian. One to the left, James. Yep. Left. Dothan Rotary Club began in 1918, 106 years ago. There have been many impactful, caring, and giving people who have been pinned with the same membership pin that Will just received and all of us have received. Business coach and leader Zig Ziglar once said, "The foundation stones for a balanced success are honesty, character, integrity, faith, love, and loyalty." Today, we will celebrate individuals that exemplify each of these qualities. But I want to focus on the last one, loyalty. Webster defines loyal as unswerving in allegiance. Today, we celebrate those that have shown their allegiance to our club by the number of years they have been members. The board of directors this year has decided that each year moving forward, we will honor those that have been members of the Dothan Rotary Club for 25 years and for 50 years. Today, we'll play a little catch up in this new tradition and honor any individual that has been a member of our club for over 25 years. If you're present today, I will call your name and ask you to come forward to be recognized. And then there's some tables down here in the front. I ask you to after you're recognized, if you'll have a seat there. All right, Miss Linda Young, Dr. Linda Young.
She's traveling today.
She is?
Working hard.
I know Mr. Arnie Falls isn't with us. As I mentioned earlier, I visited him last week, but we made him aware that we were doing this today. Willis Smitherman. Willis here with us. Bruce McNeil. There's Bruce. All right. Next. Jason Rudd. "27 years. Go ahead, James. All right, Joseph Johnson. Joseph here today. All right, Dale Goodwin. Dale, she texted me earlier. She's at the beach. Oh, hey Dale. All right, James Matheny. Jim Matheny. Hal Edwards. Is Hal here today? Jim Whaley. I know he's traveling as well. Art Morris. Art's been in our club for 30 years. Mark Smith. Mr. Jack Collier. 21 years. I'll come out here, child, too. Les Pinker. Greg Hendricks. Thirty 33 years. All right. Robert Bird, 33 years. Bo Thaggard, 34 years. Tim Shirley, 35 years. John Watson, 35 years. Danny Sharp. Danny here. 36 years. Archie Solomon, 38 years. Art Gardner, 38 years. Bob Rudder, 40 years. And Mr. Bill Shealy hit the 50-year mark.
If everybody's gonna ask me, if Gloria didn't hit me, but a concrete sidewalk did. That's what happened. I fell in the lake. Gloria's another story.
Lisa, you come forward so we can get a picture of the group, please.
Mr. President, I have a motion to make.
Yes, sir.
I make a motion that most of us change our pictures that we're showing. John, you'll get everybody together and then I'll get it set up.
Don't squeeze in as much as you can. You can turn sideways if you have to. It's a this is a chest shot. That works on. All right, Mark. All right, that's gonna be good. All right. Thank you. If you Photography 101 going on. You ready? Yep. Hopefully you got it. You might want to look at it, make sure.
Fellow Rotarians, please stand and applaud these men.
Good.
All right, now we're gonna have a little bit of fun. We're gonna open up the microphone and, love to hear some stories of good memories and good times from this group that was honored today. You're welcome to call one another out, roast them a little bit, ask any specific questions. But to get things started, Jason Rudd, come up here and give us a good story.
Many moons ago, Danny Sharp was my mentor for this club. He proposed me. That's back when we used to meet at the Holiday Inn. Who remembers the Holiday Inn? I was talking to Bo Thaggart prior to, or while we were eating lunch, and he was asking me, I said, where did y'all meet prior to the Holiday Inn? He's going to tell y'all about it here in just a little while. By the way, who remembers singing songs in this club? We used to. And for the new folks, we hadn't sang in a while. I want to tell y'all what my favorite song was. Y'all hear it?
Sing it.
No, it's the cut song. Remember the ding ding? What's the name of it? Grandfather's Clock. Y'all look it up. Let's go. Come on, let's go. Let's sing it one time. And the people that have been in this club know what we're talking about. The ding ding, right? Oh man, that was back when we used to have glasses. Okay, here it is. Who remembers
You're precious on the word.
I can give you this. That says my grandfather's clock. Y'all sing it now. 2 arms on the steps over 90 years on the floor. It was small by half than the old man himself. Though it weighed not a penny, it weighed more. It was bought on the morn of the day he was born. It was always his treasure and pride, but it stopped short and never to go again. The old man died. 90 years without slumbering. We're gonna have to get a show of song leader. I'm gonna do this one day. But anyway, we used to all they used to all ding the cups, and I just thought that was so great. But anyway, back in my younger years, I can remember getting out of school at Auburn, coming to Dothan. I grew up in Ozark, knew nobody in Dothan, Alabama, except for a couple of fraternity brothers that I'd met that were from Dothan. But I started learning about Dothan, learning who the players were. I'd heard of Rotary Club. My father was a Rotarian in the Ozark Club back in the day. But I was working in the family furniture business here in Dothan. And I started getting active with the Dothan Chamber of Commerce. And I guess that's how Danny and I connected back then. But grateful to Danny and your service and to this club, and hopefully I've got 27 more years to go with this club. I was thinking about some of these gentlemen and ladies that were on this list. For instance, Bo Thaggart. Bo said just a little while ago, Bo, come on up here. You can be next anyway. But Bo's been, how many years was it today?
I think it's 34.
I heard him talking back there, and I asked him, I said, how long he was saying how many years he had worked in, it was what's the name of it? Howell Plywood. 49 years. So he's been around a long time, and I said, and we were talking about what before the Holiday Inn, because I remember going to the Holiday Inn for lunch. And I don't remember what my favorite meal was, but I do remember the famous dessert. Y'all remember the soft serve ice cream? Yeah. That was my favorite. But tell them what the other locations were.
Well, Bill would know, and some of the others would know, but it was at the road, it was at the Ramada Inn when I joined. But before that, it had been at the Houston Hotel downtown, where WTVY is. That was where it met every week. Coat and tie, I mean, it was a lot of difference than coming now, but, of course, everything has become more casual in church, everywhere else now too. But, a lot of good folks have been through this club through the years, a lot of fun. My boss was Harry Howell at Howell Plywood. He was actually a member of the Tuesday Club. His daddy had been a member of this club for years until he died. But Harry had joined the Tuesday Club. Lee Thomas asked me to sponsor me to come into this club. And I failed to tell Harry that I was joining this club. And so some of his buddies told him, well, go join our Rotary Club today. I mean, it just never crossed my mind that I should tell him. And so he was sort of surprised by that. John knew Harry. John would know how his reaction would have been. But anyway, a lot of good folks. I wouldn't know nearly the people that I've known in Dothan through the years if it hadn't been for this Rotary Club. And it's been an honor to be in this club and to serve with all of you and all of those who've come before. Lee Thomas was in this club for a lot of years. He probably brought more members into this club than anyone ever had. We did a Paul Harris Fellow for him, and I got all the people together who he had sponsored. Lee had no idea that it was going on, and I got them all to show up on that day. And had everybody come to the mic and say, my name is so-and-so, and went through the whole list of who they were. And then when I got there, I said, my name is Mo Thacker, and we were all sponsored by Lee Thomas. And so really sort of caught Lee off guard, but it was really nice to have been sponsored by Lee.
Thank you. Mr. Shealy, I think it's appropriate you come on up. You gotta be next. And thinking about these badges, you know, I guess 27 years I've been, this thing has gotta be dirty. All right, but anyway, I can remember the designation, like everybody's got one. Mine was furniture retail, and I can remember back in the day there was, I think it was 2 per club. Two per category. Yeah, and I don't remember if I was the original or the secondary, but I think back in the day there was a Ethan Allen here in Dothan, and the gentleman from over there was also one of the furniture. And I know Jimmy Logan is now. So anyway, tell us something fun.
I thought you wanted me to tell about the bed that I bought from your daddy when I got in the Navy and got my first apartment in Camelot. I still got that bed. It's been used an awful lot. Don't tell Gloria I said that. No, when I got in 1974, Bill Davis sponsored me. There was only one other person younger than me. I had just turned 28, I think, and Ronnie Price, his son-in-law, was the only one younger than me. Everybody else was either on Social Security or getting close to it. And there was a lot of older people back then. And some of the best people that Dothan's ever had were in back then, just like Bo was talking about. I would like to say one of the benefits of being in Rotary, since we got the people from Rotaract here, the Interact Club, since I was younger, they made me the sponsor of the Interact Club at Dothan High at that time. This was in 1974. Well, in 1974, early October, I guess it was, I was making a sales call over at Dothan Bank and Trust. I was working with my father, and I was over at Dothan Bank and Trust. And this girl comes in, I was in the marketing department. She walks in, and she's a good, tall, pretty girl, long black hair and all. And she left, of course, young as I was, single and just out of the Navy and everything. I asked somebody, I said, who was that? And they said, that's Gloria Lofton. I said, all right, well, I was the sponsor of Interact, and Susan Lofton was, that you may know as Susan Kirkland now, was the high school sweetheart. They just had all boys at that time in the club. So I called Susan that night to find out about this Gloria Lofton. And I got her daddy on the phone, Grady Lofton. Now, Grady knew me. And some of y'all may have known Grady Lofton, but he said, Bill Shealy, you're too old for my daughter there, so you don't be calling her. I said, no, Grady, I'm not calling Susan for a date. I want to know about this Gloria Lofton. So he put Susan on the line. She told me that Gloria was her first cousin. And so she got me my first date with Gloria. This was in early October, and we were married December the 14th. So it was pretty close. So that's one of the benefits of being in the Rotary. You never know who you're going to meet. I would, for the benefits, I do have a minute here, if you'll give me just a minute. For the younger people, and I've told this story before, but I was vice president in 1984, I think it was. And Wicker Hutto had just been made the president. And this was like in July of 84. And about 2 months later, Wicker calls me early one Sunday or late one Sunday afternoon and says, Bill, you're going to need to be the president, Monday, because I'm ill and I'm not going to be able to do it. Well, like Bo said, all these older people were out there, and I'm talking about people that are the top people in Dothan, and everybody looked up to. It's like having a room full of John Watsons, what it's like. And so I was, even though I had spoken, I was on the debate team at Auburn, and I've spoken in front of thousands of people before, but to speak in front of this club pretty much scared me to death at that time. But I remember that first meeting, I got up and ran that meeting. But anyway, I found out after that, Bill Davis came up to me and said that Wicker had cancer, and that that's the reason they made him president, because that was an honor that they thought that he deserved. And it wasn't but a few months later that Wicker passed away in December. And at that time, there was no succession in our Rotary Club. So nobody knew who was going to take over. And so I called Rotary International and I asked them, I said, what happens when the president dies in the Rotary Club? And at that time, they'd never had a president that was active to die at the club. So anyway, Bill Blunt and several other people I talked to about, what to do. And anyway, for Wicker's funeral, with all of the past presidents, we sat up front at the service, and his coffin was up front, and every 10 minutes, two of the past presidents, this is before the service started, stood next to his coffin for about 10 minutes until the service started, and then they had the service. But anyway, after that, like I say, we didn't know what to do. I felt like I wanted to be the president, and at that time I didn't know that nobody else wanted to be the president. So, but anyway, I kind of was going on politics for it. So Lee Thomas, I had him as my vice president. I got him nominated as vice president. I got Lee to nominate me for president, and I had somebody else to second it, and somebody else to close the nominations, and I became the president of the Rotary Club that year. And didn't find out later that nobody else wanted it anyway. It has been an honor for me to be the president or to serve this club. I served as secretary. I was the youngest director I think they ever had when they made me director. I was served as secretary before we had our paid secretaries. And that was a very learning experience. You learn a lot about Rotary. I don't know whether I'll have another chance to speak up here in front of y'all like this, but I have one other thing I need to tell. Back after Gloria and I have been married for several years, the International Convention was being held in New Orleans. But at the same time, Gloria and I were going to be in New Orleans. So I just had to say, well, I'm going to be in New Orleans, we'll go by the convention. Well, we went by there, and it was at the Superdome, and so like we had a room downtown in the French Quarter and all, and like I say, had been married for a couple of years, so anyway, we went by Superdome, and we were going to see what the convention was like, and because the club didn't send me down there, they didn't pay anything, so I wasn't taking any money from the club. But anyway, went by, and I went by and picked up some pamphlets, and there was a lot of money to go in and do stuff. So we decided we'd rather do some other things than do that. I did pick up some pamphlets, and then we did all the other things you do in New Orleans. And, met some other people who were down there for the convention and, on some of the boat rides and other things that we did. Well, I didn't know it, but the next Monday when I got back and whoever's president was says, we want Bill Shelley to come in here and tell us about the convention. And, you know, we had Dale tell about the convention the other day, or several weeks ago, and what all she did, and who she met, and all this stuff. Well, like I say, I was on the debate team at Auburn and used to do contemporary speaking. And I said, well, I got a BS for a little while here. So anyway, I had these pamphlets, I told about what all the different things, activities were going on and the people we met and all this stuff. And anyway, Dale had, I think she brought back, I forgot what the souvenirs and stuff she brought back. Well, I had 2 hurricane glasses I brought back from, what is the place that you go, the Paddle Grind, yeah, still got those too. But anyway, that was my souvenir, that came from New Orleans. But anyway, I want to be honest with y'all, we really didn't go to the convention that bad. Worry about with the exporters. Thank y'all for the opportunity to talk to you, I really appreciate it.
Well, I just want to say thank you. Josh made me about 9 years younger today because I've actually been in the club since 1985, so that makes 39 years. But so I remember a lot of y'all coming in the club, and I remember when I came into the club, same thing that Bill said. These were all these senior people in Dothan, and it was very intimidating for me because I was 25 years old when I joined, and I was the youngest member at that time. And I thought, goodness gracious, you know, I don't deserve to be here. It was just an honor for me to be among all of these august people. So, and it's still an honor. I still don't feel like I deserve to be in this club. I just want to take a minute and thank you all for what you do for our community. And you really do exemplify service above self. Now, Josh had asked me to tell a funny story. I don't have a lot of funny stories about Rotary. But I've got some funny stories about Rotarians and some experiences we had. So one of them that comes to mind that I'll just talk about. How many of you remember Jerry Walling? You remember Jerry Walling? Jerry was our city manager for a while, and he's probably one of the best city managers that we ever had. Was a great supporter of the airport, great supporter of industrial recruiting here. And Tucson Roberts was our industrial recruiter at the time. Tucson and Jerry, both members of the club. John Watson was a member of the club. And we went to the Paris Air Show, had some meetings set up there. We were going to go solicit business to come in Dothan. Many of you know that we've got what's called an MRO operation out at the airport that rebuilds and manufactures cargo doors, converts former airliners into cargo airplanes. So we were going to go try to recruit some additional industry like that. And we had economy class tickets that we were going to fly on Delta over to Charles de Gaulle Airport in Paris, one of the worst airports in the world. And something happened. It was an overbooked flight. It was overbooked by 4 seats. So Delta started calling and saying, we need to get 4 volunteers to get off this plane and take the next flight, and we're going to pay X amount of dollars or offer you a free ticket or whatever. And everyone knows that John is a great negotiator. Tucson was a great negotiator, but nobody can beat Jerry. Jerry was the best negotiator there ever was. He was bound and determined he was going to get a better deal. We would be willing to take a later flight if they gave us a better deal. So Jerry went up there, and if you know Jerry, this is funny, but Jerry went up there and kind of pounded the desk and demanded that we get free round trip tickets anywhere in the US that we want, and also that we get upgraded on the flight. So we want to go from economy class to first class. And Jeremy was just making a big deal to the agent about this and being very demanding. And the agent said, okay, well, I've got some good news and bad news. I can put you on the next flight. And we were able to upgrade 2 of you to business class. And Jerry said, I'll take that. So, okay, so he and Tucson took the business class tickets. And then he thought about it after that, and John and I have just been standing back watching these negotiations, and thought about that for a minute, and said, what was the bad news? And he said, well, that was the bad news. The real good news is the fact I was able to get 2 first class tickets, and they go to these 2 gentlemen. So John and I had a great flight over there. Those are the, Jerry really was a great guy, though. He did a wonderful job as city manager. And those are the kind of people that serve in this Rotary Club. People that are willing to give of themselves, and people that are willing to go the extra mile to do what it takes to improve this community. So I just, again, want to reiterate what an honor it is to be among you, and thank you for allowing me to be a member of this club.
I joined in, I think, 1987, and when I joined, Bill, how long did I have perfect attendance? Probably 5 years as a visitor. Went every day, and we were talking about it a minute ago. The reason that I had perfect attendance is because I had to drive my dad, because he wasn't going to drive there, and I had to make sure he got here. And Danny Sharp and I were talking. Danny had to drive out for too. We started the Rotary Cookout. Bob, what year was that? 85. So in 85, I was a guest of the Rotary Club. We had a new Rotary member, Mr. Mark Gardner, and he was going to cook the chicken on the barbecue grill. What did you put on it? Diazinon on the chicken. He had spray bottles. He sprayed the chicken to cool it down with the diazinon. But no, we had the first Rotary Cookout was at Bob Rutter's house out in Kingston. Some of y'all old guys, but there has been a lot of good people, reiterating what all the rest of them said. I knew Mr. Cannon. The first year I was in the club was on the White Elephant Sale Committee, and they used to have it during lunch, and the Rotary members brought their kids, and that White Elephant Sale started about 11:30 or 12 o'clock. Then you used to go with your daddy when you were a little boy, but it lasted till 4:30 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It was a whole afternoon event. But just seeing the people. I was a young man when Bo and Mr. Watson and all of them got in, but to see what this club has done and has become, and Adam Hall, his dad, his granddad, his uncle, all were real strong parts of Dothan Rotary. But thank you for letting me be here for what time I had. Thank you.
I need to go up here and get that story straight about the diazinon chicken out at Brother's place. But I didn't join till 86. So I think maybe 87, I think is when we did that. I think that's right. But anyway, I've been with Doug about a year, and Brother talks about, we're going to have this barbecue at the house. And I had a cooker on a trailer that was about a 6x3 gas grill. Sat about that high off the ground, and I had it loaded down with about 40 pieces of chicken. And I had a famous basting sauce that it caused a fire. It was that high. It was burning the leaves off the tree where we parked up that thing. But anyway, I was needing something real quick to put the flame down. So I see this sprayer, hand sprayer sitting there. I pick it up and start spraying it down. It fire goes out, and Bob comes up and says, "What the devil are you doing?" I said, "I'm putting out the fire." He said, "Well, did you know I had diazepam? I've been spraying for ants around here all day." So, we get all that chicken off the grill. We go to the IGA in heaven and get a whole nother batch of chicken, bring it back. In the meantime, I wash the grill down, fire it up, get it steamed, get it clean, and we start all over. And fortunately, I have enough basting sauce to last, but that was one of the funnest things we'd ever done, and we had a lot of good times, and that was been one of my contributions for White Elephant sales in years past, when all our table would offer a chicken dinner for 12 folks or more, and we'd raise money with the White Elephant still doing that, and Leslie Bloomberg and his family, his group of friends all got together, and we did that a number of years and had a lot of fun doing it. That was when we were much younger and felt like doing something. But anyway, it's been fun, the years that I've been in this club, and just keep on doing what we need to do to make Dothan a better place. Thank you.
Last call, anybody else? All right, do want to, it is worth noting, we have a few others that are active in our club that have been a part for over 50 years. You may recall, I believe we started honoring those with 50 years of service or more. So I do see Mr. Tom back there. Tom, do you mind standing so you may recognize Mr. Tom? Mr. West has been with me for 58 years. Also, I believe Mr. Ed Malone is tuned in via Zoom. Mr. Ed's been a member for 60 years. And then also Leslie Bloomberg is still active and still attends meetings, been a member for 62 years. So. Great day. Thank you all for coming today. Congratulations to those who have been recognized. Thank you for the many years that y'all made Dothan a better place and our club a better place. Please stand for our full testimony. Of the things we think, say, do. Is it true? Is it fair? All fair? Shine the light of Rotary.